It's Wednesday night. It's actually really is 8 o'clock, and it's time for the pastor's chat. Father Rob Arsenault, Annunciation of the Lord Parish, and this is what I come on. I'm actually on at the right time on the right night. So it's been a couple weeks. Like last week, I had problems with the restream. I think was I had to log in again, so I was a little bit late. So I do like to come on and just kind of chat with you a little bit and just go over a few things. Tonight I want to talk about because lots of stuff we could talk about because it's here we are. We started Advent and this year we're doing something quite different in Advent, which is it's subtle but it's important. What we did is we have become intentional in sort of we got a 3 week preaching cycle. Really, the 4 Sundays of it'd be 4 weeks in a sense, 4 Sundays of Advent, and we went with something called Rebuilt, which is kind of another like Divine Renovation and like Amazing Parish. It's a parish in Baltimore, and they've done some renewal work for the last, say, I don't know, but 25 years or so. And this, they have put out some things and said, well, if you're going to try to do renewal, and this is some of the things you might want to try. And so it's like a teaching series that will go through the entire season of Advent, the sense of anticipation and what's going to come on at Christmas time and why Christmas is necessary. And again, all of our homilies will be kind of aligning with this. And this is this thing we're doing kind of a push out that we're doing from our you can go on the webpage and get this, or there's a QR code in the pews. And what it does is it helps you to sign up, and then we will send you an email every day with a kind of a reflection that kind of walks with us along that cycle. So this is sort of the idea, and this is kind of what we're doing. So you'll hear that in the preaching cycle, and hopefully Advent then becomes, again, we can take 3 or 4 different takes on it, and as companions, there's not like a huge swing in I think how we preach or what we say. But in this case, we're even trying to be tighter. So this weekend, it's actually Deacon Mark who's going to be preaching. So it's his turn to kind of pick it up, and then I'll do the next Sunday, I think. So it's kind of fun. Actually, I'm looking forward to it. But it's not really what I was going to talk about. So it's Advent. It's again, we had some snow on the ground, so that's got that change to it. The slight change that we've made in our approach to Advent, and just kind of encourage you. Like even right now, we have a Wednesday evening mass that we put on, and there's a holy hour and time for confessions. And we did this all the way through last year. We're doing during Lent we did that, and so we've talked about doing this in Advent, but we never seem to get around to it. So again, people who are just a little bit busy or hustle and bustle, they can drop in on a Wednesday night and catch confession and do a little holy hour and maybe go to mass. Like this is kind of a nice thing, right? A little oasis and kind of what's can be a very busy time. And this Saturday as well, I just want to put it out there that it's our reconciliation, so confession. We're going to have first confession for our students in the morning. Remember, there's 50 of them, so it's going to be a fairly good crowd, and often we encourage their families to go as well. So that's the morning. And then from 12 on till 3, we'll do kind of, again, expose the Blessed Sacrament and just play some music and just have, I think, 4 priests available. So we should be able to handle the crowds as they come in. We've done this in the past, and it's always been kind of nice. There's always been just a few people coming and a layer that we can manage, and it's nice as it gives them more time. Like when people come, and as a priest, I find like if I have a lineup of 5 people, I have to try to move fairly quickly. I'm trying to keep ahead of that. But when there's only 1 or 2 people waiting, and there's 4 or 5 priests to choose from, we can spend a little more time. And so not really spiritual direction, that's a different thing, but go a little deeper, and maybe just to give people that personal kind of time they need to totally reconcile and to make their peace and to make a good confession. So I just find those things really, it's more edifying that way. It's both are valid sacraments, but to celebrate the Mass well, you need to take your time and be kind of intentional. And so to go through reconciliation well, it's sort of the same thing. It's to take a little more time. But that's not what I'm going to talk about either. So those are all just public service announcements. So remember, Mass is now on Wednesday nights at 7. The QR code, which will take you, or just go to the website, and you can get more information about our daily emails. And if this works well, and already we're up to like 130 people are getting them every day. So if we could get to, I think even now we would call that a success. Do it again during Lent, right? This would be something we do as a whole parish, and this is a bit of a test balloon to see if people were interested. And anything over 100, I think, is pretty good, and I think we'll get to 200 before we're done. So that's good news. And reconciliation. We're going to try to have more priests available like all of our masses, like we always do every day before the 9, and we do it before the 5. But we're going to have all the masses, an extra priest or two around to hear confessions. So that'll be at the Sunday morning masses as well. But this Saturday from noon till 3, reconciliation here at Annunciation. So what's left to talk about? Well, we had a thing last week. I talked a bit about it. Was the reveal for the artwork as we get closer to doing this thing for kind of a renovation in the sanctuary. And I'm really kind of excited about it because it was, again, from just, okay, first level, just when you plan events, in your mind, you sort of have a bit of a vision for what this could be or how you're hoping it might go. And we kind of pulled it off. Like, I thought to people to see the artwork, I think Adele did a lovely job in explaining it. Like, it was just the people who came seemed to appreciate that. We had a little wine and cheese function afterwards, and it was a nice little social time. And then people could ask, more questions of the artist or, one of the priests who was available. And it's just one of those nights that just went really well. Like just from an event perspective. Okay, just an event perspective. And then to listen to Adele talk about art and how the beauty of art, and all the symbolism that goes behind the painting, and even how the two are juxtaposed. We're going to have, Mary, I think is what you're going to see first, and she's looking right at you, but her hands are gesturing down to "Hail full of grace." I think it's like her writing underneath her artwork, and then you'll move across to the other side, and that's where the angel would be, and then his writing, and then back, almost as like a loop, like the whole thing becomes what's called a triptych, which is often 3 panels. So you have Mary on one side, and then the angel on the other side, and the Holy, Blessed Sacrament in the middle, underneath, and Christ crucified on the cross above, and you circle around that. Like it just has. It's something that Adele had said to me earlier, that any good art will always have a narrative. It'll tell a story. It will draw you into a bit of tension almost. And that's healthy. It's good. It's just wonderful. So the event went off pretty much the way we had hoped it would, and that was great. And then just that lesson in art, and again, this is one of the transcendentals, like the true, the beautiful, and the good. Like beautiful things reflect God. I think this is sort of things like sunsets and natural senses, or one could imagine the mountains, or a dewy morning sunrise or something, whatever your thing is. That's good too, and how that all tells a story. It all raises our eyes up for a moment to the eternal and what's beyond. But then the paintings themselves are stunningly beautiful. Like they're still like 1/3 done. I think they're like we still have to do the faces and the hands and the clothing. Like the real punch of the art is still to come. Like it's more dramatic features, but just the scale of them and the detail and the way the flowers kind of flow out of the painting and how the two are kind of juxtaposed. I mean, they're almost the same height, but the angel's slightly higher, but he doesn't quite fit into the frame. It's almost like I'll use my hands here, because God can't be framed. It's too big, because the angel wouldn't fit into a frame. The wings go beyond. But Mary is framed, but the flowers that are in front of her kind of spill out into us. So God's grace coming into Mary's yes, causing this fruitfulness. Like it's just so crazy. It's amazingly beautiful. And we get to keep them. Like not on loan from the Vatican or something, or we get them from the art exhibit and we'll have them for 6 months. No, we get to look at these things and draw from them and experience them for years and generations to come. And I think how blessed we are as a parish to be able to have original artwork on this scale. I think it's just such a glory, and that Adele has tied it in, not just the art itself, which is delightful, but the way the whole sanctuary then becomes this triptych, this piece of art that we can draw from and experience in a very tangible way. So I'm a little excited about it, you can tell, right? So this is amazing. And the generosity of our people, like I think most of our budget's already been covered by people's generosity, that they see in this something good and meaningful. And are willing to be a part of it. That in itself is something also very, very good. So there it is. So it's pretty exciting stuff. Like the hoping we'll be done by Christmas. The guys, like, most of it will be done. We're even tailoring a little bit, like, our Christmas decorations, because this is going to be so different. We've never decorated in this environment before, and I've been just talking with some of the people. Again, it's always beautiful. Like, I've always thought we've done a nice job at Christmas time, but maybe a little less of our decoration just to allow this thing to do its work. What I thought was so amazing with it was, as the people came in, they stopped at the door. Like, they got to the entrance of the church proper and were just almost stunned by what they were seeing. Like, this is amazing. And that I'm just trying to imagine people coming for Christmas, and they come maybe not all the time. They may not know that we're doing this renovation, or maybe it's been a little while since they've been here, or it might be guests that are coming from other parts of the city or even of the country, and they remember our church, and it was, it's beautiful, and I'm sure they appreciate it, and it always has been, tasteful, and our decorations have always been nice. But this is almost something beyond. Like, this will be a next level, maybe 2 level experience of what the Annunciation means and what it all stands for. And so I'm just looking forward to that. Like, it's almost like you bought the right gift for somebody, and you can't wait for them to unwrap it, because it's just going to be so powerful. I'm really hoping it's done by Christmas, but we'll see. I think the scaffolding will be down at the very least, and the wood will be completed. The guys are working on the side pieces now, and so that won't take quite as long, and the altar will be in place. So there it is. So exciting times, a lot of interesting things happening, and it just seems to be a kind of a blessing with that. Like, we have a number of people now in our CAA. We have lots of young people taking catechetics. We just seem to have, more young families seem to be finding us somehow, and that's all good. It's all kind of fruitful as well. So I don't know how it's all happening, but I don't need to. I just kind of appreciate it and celebrate it with all of you. So there it is. So Jeff, again, always good to chiming in from BC. Diane, I hope you're feeling better, and God bless you. And that's almost the other end. That's out in New Brunswick. And Diane, so exciting. We'll need to visit to see the finished Annunciation. Great to have you back. Yeah, I think once we're a little bit further along, I'll be posting pictures. And if you want to go, Adele has a kind of a blog that she's been keeping, and I sent that information out. It's a little hard because I don't have the QR code with me, but if you go to our webpage, I'm pretty sure that there's a link there someplace. And if not, get a hold of me, and I'll try to get it to you, so you can actually follow along almost on a weekly blog. She's starting to post, pictures and updates, and it's just exciting times. It's all good. So there it is. So as we approach, here we are, first week of Advent already. We'll be at Christmas before we know it, and into a new year. But God bless you all. May the good Lord watch over, guide, and protect you. May the saints and angels intercede for you, and our Blessed Mother wrap you in the mantle of her peace. May Almighty God bless you and keep you now in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. God bless you. Have a good night.